now tuned in to the Actual Factualz. Now, look at here, baby. I say, it is the Actual Factualz. This is the Actual Factualz now. I said, goddamn, it is the Actual Factualz. The Actual Factualz starts right now.
To the Actual Factualz. It is your host. My name is Josh Moody. It's the handsome one, the dancing one, the prancing one, the shancing one. You do gotta say it twice. It's always better when you say it twice. Guys, I got an awesome show for you guys today. Got a very, very special guest, a dear friend of mine, a brother. But before I introduce this gentleman, I'm going to have our sponsors, the beautiful and the lovely Memorable Moments by Rye, come tell you about her business. She is powering our show today. We say thank you. Let her tell us up about it.
Hey everyone, this is Rye from Memorable Moments. Do you live in the New York, New Jersey area and you're looking to make your next event an experience to remember? Well, I'm your girl. For all of your event planning and balloon decor needs, you can follow me on Instagram at memorablemoments_RYY. Oh yeah, sit tight because Actual Factualz is coming back on right now.
Thank you to the lovely Memorable Moments by Rye. So she happens to be my wife, guys. Go check her out. Instagram at memorable_Rye. Excuse me, memorable moments_Rye. Okay, now, guys, the moment we've been waiting for. A very special guest, guys. A good friend of mine, a good brother, an athlete, a friend, a brother. More than anything, somebody who's a motivator. But I'm gonna let him tell you guys about himself and what he does. The respectable Andrew Bose. What's going on, good brother? How you doing today?
Hey, my gosh, man. How you doing, bro?
Oh, man. It's awesome to have you, bro. What's going on, man? What's the word?
Nothing much, bro. Nothing much, man. So, yes, my name is Andrew Bose, former, obviously, collegiate NFL athlete.
Yes, sir.
Former alum from the University of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
With my guy, Moody here.
Yeah.
And currently fitness entrepreneur.
All right. Awesome, brother. Awesome. So, like, listen. And I'm so glad to have you on, man, because when I rebooted the Actual Factualz, you were somebody who I undoubtedly had in mind, who I wanted to have on the show, and you reached out to me, and I just want to say thank you before we even do this. And I know we already spoke off camera about this, about how you decided that you wanted to share your story on the Actual Factualz. And I just appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you taking the time. It's early in the morning, and good thing we're both early birds because I love to get up, and we
Yes,
both,
sir.
and I know we both love to chat. So let's get our chatty patty on, good brother. All right?
For sure, bro. For sure. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful for being able to share this moment in time with you, my friend.
Nah, man, it's shitting me, bro. Like I said, man, I appreciate you, especially your story, man. I have some sentiments towards that and empathy towards you because I've had experiences. We've all had these experiences. And I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this story. And quite frankly, it's touching and it's motivating. So thank you. So just to give a quick background, Bose already mentioned that we've met and played together at the University of Rhode Island. Bose was a couple of years younger than me, but right off the bat when you came in, Bose, we clearly saw the type of talent and potential you had. Came in as a freshman, contributing on special teams, and quite frankly, rotating. I think you were starting by the end of your freshman year, correct?
Yep, that's correct. I played as a true freshman. Trainers definitely saw the value in me, so definitely wanted to give me some burn my freshman year, and I definitely am thankful for that. Definitely made it a nice little run with that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a great foundation for you. And you, like I said, by sophomore year, you was a full-time starter and contributing damn near on everything. So I want to bypass that just to give you guys some. Bose, tell them your accolades by the end of your college career.
All right. So when I graduated from the University of Rhode Island, I had third team, second team, and first team all conference, sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I know by the time I finished my senior season, I was top 10 in tackles in the school as well as tackles for a loss as well. And then obviously CAA Conference Player of the Week numerous times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and obviously just a ball hunter, bro.
That's right.
Definitely want to add a knack for getting to the ball.
A dog. One of your greatest attributes, simply you would not stop. Well, one of the things that was admired about you, a motor that was just like anybody else. We called you Navaza, the player Navaza always wanted. And it's so funny, like, you know, that same passion, that same motor is running through your passions and your aspirations today. And respect to you for that, bro. And so let's talk post college now, right? So you graduated from you finished you finished your athletic career at the University of Rhode Island. Tell us what happens next.
Yeah, so you know, obviously, I remember when my sophomore year, you know, obviously, Coach Dowdy, great coach, mentor.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Definitely, you know, obviously, kept me in the loop as far as, you know, the NFL radar, and you know, obviously, let me know that, hey, you're starting to pick up some buzz. So, you know, first thing that came to mind was just, you know, having that consistency. Sophomore year, you know, obviously I saw the numbers and the stats. Obviously our team was not the strongest in the conference. You know, but, you know, obviously it's 11 guys on the field. You do your one job and you make the best out of it.
Absolutely.
No matter what. It doesn't matter if you're playing D3, D2, D1. If you're good, you're good.
The work will show.
You know,
Absolutely.
Talent's definitely going to be shown. So I, you know, first thing that came to mind was just obviously establishing that level of consistency in my game, ways to obviously improve my game, and obviously coming into my junior and senior year, just obviously matching that, if not better, which I, you know, I would like to say obviously did so. You know, obviously there's always room for improvement in your game as you continue to develop, but for the most part, I was obviously happy with my body of work, and it was enough to get me, you know, obviously some NFL looks. So obviously,
tell us about that. Tell us about the NFL looks. What was that? What did you do? I know, but tell the people what you did.
Okay, yeah. So like the, you know, obviously once I finished my senior season, you know, obviously got hooked up with an agent, inspired athletes out of Massachusetts. Obviously got me plugged in, started training back at home. Obviously the intent was to get me onto a roster, which I ended up doing. You know, obviously that in itself was quite the journey. You know, I was definitely in a mind state, in a grind mode that I never was in. Being back in Maryland with my former high school coach, who obviously was the one that trained me, and that was an experience itself. I was under his wing, was housed, fed, and trained for a period of time until my pro day came. Once my pro day came, I was scouted at my pro day by the New England Patriots, where, you know, obviously what they wanted to see the most was my 40 time. And, you know, obviously was able to establish a great pro day in itself, and it was enough to get me on the board for a number of teams to you know, obviously keep an eye on me. Post NFL draft, that 2015 season, I got a call 2 days later. I believe the 7th round ended on a Saturday night. Sunday, everybody shuts down. And then Monday, I got that call Monday morning, and the Baltimore Ravens decided to bring me onto their 90-man roster. And man, that was quite the phone call, man. If I can say anything, it was very unexpected, and I definitely remember it like it was yesterday.
Nah, that's awesome. So, Baltimore Ravens, undrafted free agent. You're in training camp. You're doing your thing. You got the experience. You experienced the dream, which is awesome. And kudos to you, brother, because like you've done something I wasn't able to do, and it's so phenomenal to see because that's why we played the game. We wanted to go professional. We all wanted to play in the league. So that is awesome. But guys, for those of you listening, those of you watching, I want you guys to know that is not the biggest point of Andrew Bose's story. There's a lot more. And that's why this story is so special, because even with that such a high accomplishment that a lot of athletes and kids dream of doing in the NFL, making it to the NFL, he's done that. His story is even more interesting, even more intriguing than that. So, Bose, we come post NFL. You're no longer an NFL linebacker, okay? Now, tell us how did you transition, right, from NFL athlete to your current profession as a fitness trainer?
Okay. Yeah. So like the transition was tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely a low point in my career, I would say. You know, having the desire, being where you were, being in the locker room, seeing obviously the premier players, being around that lifestyle, to then you know obviously being cut, and feeling like you're at square one. Mentally, it puts you in a headspace that I would say not a lot of people can relate in some ways.
Yep.
And it definitely is a space where I definitely see growth and opportunity, for one, for those that obviously are big into mental health, you know, much like myself as well. But the transition was tough, Moody. I definitely had to adapt.
Yep.
To realizing that ball wasn't life anymore, and that you know there's other ways to provide for myself and to allow you know income to come as it goes, but also to still enjoy life and know that there's obviously life outside of football.
Absolutely.
So the once I got cut and released, I had the opportunity to play Canadian. I opted not to. Just
Really?
in my personal views, just being in that realm of where I was with the NFL and knowing that I could play at that level, I just didn't want to take a shot with the Canadian League yet. Personally thought that, you know, obviously with the season going on as it was, that, you know, I still would have had a phone call mid-season to come through and obviously get it another shot. Obviously that didn't happen. 2016, I was given a call back. My agent let me know that, you know, I had another opportunity to come back into camp with Baltimore. By that time, I was not physically in shape. And obviously, I would say a large part of that was due to my mental state and where I was mentally, and also where I shifted my mindset towards, you know, my own career and what I wanted to do moving forward. You know, obviously with that gap of time, you know, it allows, you know, a lot of things to set in mentally for yourself. And, you know, like I said, it was definitely a confusing and very humbling, I would say, if anything else, experience for myself. But yeah, obviously, much like how you know, Moody, just that mindset of half full, and staying motivated with everything that I have in front of me, I definitely, you know, made the best out of that opportunity.
No, that's awesome, and it's funny because right, a key theme I keep hearing with you, and it's something I awesome, undoubtedly can relate to, is that identity piece. And so, especially for athletes, when you've been identified as an athlete, particularly for us, for football player, our whole lives, right? I personally played since I was 6. That has literally been my identity, and what I was known for was being an athlete, right? So when I started Actual Factualz, you literally are stepping outside of a box that people have seen you in for so damn long, right? So it's almost like, damn, this, like, football was my only plan. Football was your only plan, and you think that doesn't work out, you're literally getting punched in the face or punched in the gut, and you got to figure that thing out. So like, I just want you to know, from brother to brother, you know, we spoke about this, how we can relate to that and the transitions of life and how tough that can be for an athlete. So,
and not to mention, I want to add, you know, obviously in that time for me, you know, my parents were, you know, like, and it happens, obviously, my parents were going through a divorce at that point in time. So, you know, and you know, having that support system there, you know, at the highest point in your career is important. As a young man growing in this world, a young black man, you know, obviously you want that support system and you need that. Not to say my parents did. It's just obviously the focus wasn't necessarily on Andrew at that point in time, like it always has been with my career. And that definitely played a shift in things as well. And also, I opted out of my full scholarship, which was pretty bold of a move for me. You know, I had maybe 16 credits left to get my degree, and I left those 16 credits on the table to pursue the NFL. So I had, obviously the front of, obviously the family, and then also, in the back of my mind, knowing that I have a high school education still, even though I've completed, over 90% of my, college academics, there was still that 16 credit piece that I still needed to finish. And so, you having that in your mind, in addition to obviously, going back another year and trying to chase your dream, weighing out your odds, seeing what you really wanted to do, really made you put things in perspective for yourself and realize what you thought and what you believe is more important.
No, absolutely. So, like, man, it leads me to my next question. Great way for me to segue, because you're already speaking about it. So, like, how did you deal with that balance of, like, because at the end of the day, when you get to that point of professional football and NFL, that's work at that point. Like, the game is you're no longer playing for the love, for real, because it is such a business at that level. So, and you mentioned some of these real life things that was happening. You mentioned your parents, you mentioned your mental health. So how was that? How did you navigate? How did you balance between work life and real life?
So, to be honest with you, first and foremost, I definitely would say, during those tough times, and it's so many options on the table for yourself. There's so many avenues you can take, so many things that are going on and evolving around you, and so many people, obviously at that point, in your life that want to see you succeed and do the best for yourself. Not to mention your own mental state and your mindset. First and foremost, I definitely want to say, God, it definitely helped me through that
Awesome.
tough time.
Absolutely.
And helped me endure, obviously the things that I thought were impossible. And, my mom, was a huge advocate for me during that time, seeing my sisters as well, being home, having that college career, being there 4 years, summers, year round, and not being, back in Maryland to then, obviously be in Maryland post, NFL career. And, I was working a very basic job. I was an electrician, man. Obviously that was something new for me and myself. I just wanted to obviously get myself occupied with something at that point in time to keep me busy and mentally, obviously in the right headspace. But my mom was the key piece there for me in regards to, dictating what I wanted to do post career. And the education, man, was the obstacle that I wanted to choose more so than football. Just and the only reason why I say that is because, hearing, being in that locker room and hearing all, 89 other guys' stories. Not that I heard every single one, but hearing a lot of guys' journey and how they got to the space that they're in, got to the place of them putting on that helmet just like I did. Some guys tried 6, 7, 8 years just to get on the team, year after year, competing every year to fight for that roster spot, and never mind just staying in shape, staying in tune, staying in the loop, and constantly not giving up. And I wouldn't say that I didn't have that mindset. It's just hard to have that when you're in the locker room. And, you're going to these freshman meetings at the end of the day where all the veterans get to go back to their hotel to relax for the next day. But, you still have that hour of time with the rookies, and the mentors are there. And there's 24 rookies in that locker room. Out of the 90-man roster, there's 24. And, they let us know every single day, 12 of you guys are staying. 24 of you guys in the room, half of you guys will be gone. And you talk about, anxiety and just eggshells, man. Like you wake up and your day has to be damn near perfect, because you want to be one of that 12.
Absolutely.
And you'll do everything you can. You gotten yourself all the way to that point. Every rep, every ounce of time and effort that you put into your body and yourself to then be where you want to be at that point in time, you're going to do everything you can. And, obviously, for me, the even bigger piece when they said that it was, hey, there's 24 of you guys. 4 of you guys don't have your scholarship. 4 of you guys have a high school grade level education. And they told me that too. And I was part of that 4.
Right.
And,
that's the real life. That's the punch in the gut, right? Like,
yes. And it stuck home for me too. Never mind when I went home and my mom was saying the same thing. And so, for me, I was like, that must be God giving me my message, and if it wasn't, then obviously I would have learned a different way. But I definitely believe that going back to school, finishing my academics, getting my bachelor's of science, which I obviously did, was the more important piece.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, good brother, again. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, obviously that was, like I said, that was a very tough time, and having to go back to school, finish those 16 credits without scholarship. Obviously I had to pay my own way through and figure it out. I was, up in Rhode Island working full time and, going to school part time to knock out those 16 credits. And even that was an obstacle itself.
No, listen. So I'm going to give the people a taste, pause, because we're coming up on close to our time for the first part of this episode. And you've expressed already to the people, and I hope you guys are listening. I hope you guys hear the genuine intent in his voice, because I know how much this brother went through, and just hearing him tell the story, it's just something I can empathize with, because I know how hard it was. I know how hard it is, especially for that transition in athletes and mental health, and how fragile your ego can be, how fragile your mindset can be in this space of with that identity, right? Because you've been this thing for so long, right? People told you your whole career, oh, Bose, you're gonna make it in the NFL, you're gonna make it in here, you have all this talent, you're a physical specimen, which all were true. And then boom, just like that, you get to that profession, you get to the NFL, and you're not the guy anymore. You're the low man on the totem pole, right? You gotta work your ass off, and there is no guarantee. And then you're in the room, you can taste it, you can feel it, you can touch it, you're right there. And then boom, just like that, it was gone, right? So, and it's so funny, right? At this point in time, and a lot of times we go through life, and in our current situations, we think this is the worst time in our lives. Like it can't get no worse than this, right? And then boom, life punches you again in the stomach, okay? So, Bose, tell us what happens next.
So, so, obviously you're enduring everything, shifting mindset, shifting your whole landscape of what you had originally as life, post-ball career, working full-time on your own, in another state, doing the things that you needed to do. Of course, you had your friends and peers along the way to help. I ended up getting sick in the process. And that was something that I being a NFL, collegiate athlete, you're primarily healthy. You kept a steady regimen. I would still hit the gym whenever I could. Still would be able to, do the things that I always enjoyed doing, which was obviously physical fitness and being in that gym setting. But as I, obviously stepped into the career and post NFL lifestyle, the drive and just the overall effort that I was giving started to dwindle, and didn't think anything of it, Josh, to be honest with you. But as time went on, I started to realize that there was something wrong, and unfortunately, I ended up getting diagnosed with some form of cancer, which was huge for me. It's definitely, that's a story in itself, as far as how that all transpired. But,
yes, so that's what I want the people to know before we wrap up for this part 1 of the episode. Specifically tell them that story that you shared with me of that night of when you really realized that something is wrong.
Definitely. So, obviously New Year's was approaching. Obviously I had my own mental, goals and things I had, set out for myself. And getting myself back into that premier shape was one of those things. I started to go to the gym, and I remember it was the first week of January. I started to get back into it. I was about 3 days in. That third day, I was at home. I was cooking food. Started to feel very, very ill, and started to experience very intense fever-like symptoms, as well as severe bowel movements. I couldn't tell you how many I had in just a 12-hour span. Mind you, I was home alone. I really started to, obviously experience the worst when it came to, my sickness at that time. I didn't even think anything of it other than that it would pass, like all of my other illnesses that I ever endured throughout my life. So I obviously just wrote it out. About 4 or 5 in the morning, obviously after maybe my 8 or 9 bowel movement and just being severely hydrated at that time, I collapsed in a home by myself. There was nobody there, and I passed out, hit the floor. I don't even remember hitting the floor. Laid there for quite some time, and all I remember was waking up, literally sweating profusely, and the only thing that I believe that really kept me, from waking back up was the floor. The floor was so cold.
And you was living in Rhode Island, if you guys don't know, up north.
Yeah.
It gets extremely cold up there in the Northeast.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the middle of January, obviously it's frigid. It's very cold. But obviously the floor was what I believe, woke me back up. Because it was literally me and God in that house at that point in time. And I definitely am thankful for the fact that I was able to obviously open my eyes and obviously gain some consciousness and be able to make that phone call. Thankfully, I had my phone in my pocket. I called a friend that was nearby, and they were able to obviously come pick me up off the floor and assist me. And from that point, man, it just it was a spiral of events that transpired. Man, I obviously was holding it out. I didn't want to go to the hospital. I was extremely nauseous, drinking a ton of fluids. I couldn't stomach anything. So I waited another maybe 10 to 12 hours. I was sleeping all day. And every time I opened my eyes, the room would just spin. Finally, I took myself to urgent care.
And I'm gonna stop you right there. I want you guys have to come back to hear this story because it's important. I want him to be able to walk you through the steps and the process this man had to overcome. And Andrew, like I said, I know the story, but just hearing you tell it gives me chills. I'm sweating right now, because it's like your life is literally going through something you would never expected. You've been a healthy athlete your whole life, and quite frankly, been a physical specimen ever since I knew you. So to hear the news that you are getting ready to receive, to me is something you can't even fathom. So, but good brother, why we're stopping it here. I do want you guys to hear this gentleman. He will come back on. You guys have to hear part 2 because I really want you guys to be inspired because we all make excuses. We all have hardships and we all have struggles, right? Some of them are gonna be harder than others, but this gentleman did overcome. Okay, so I want you guys to tap back in. This is the Actual Factualz. Okay, I am your host, Andrew. Please tell the people your handles, even though I will give all this stuff. Tell them where they can find you.
Definitely. So again, my name is Andrew Bose. You can find me on Instagram at @abose_fitness. That's again @abose_fitness, and definitely check me out. I'm obviously looking to promote my brand and my business, much like how you are, Josh. So definitely enjoyed that first segment there, and I definitely look forward to telling the audience more.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, listen, tap back in. I will make sure you guys get all that information. Andrew Bose, Thank you again, good brother. Guys, we are wrapping up. This is the Andrew Bose segment. He will be back. Best believe that. But you guys got to tune back in and hear the rest of this amazing story. Andrew Bose, thank you for coming again, good brother. This is the Actual Factualz. We are off this. I'ma holler at you. Wayne yourself.